Stanley Fahari REIT is the first and only listed REIT in Kenya and indeed the region. As you may be aware, a REIT can be defined as a regulated investment vehicle that enables persons to collectively contribute money or money's worth as contribution for acquisition of rights or interest in a trust, which is divided into units with the intention of earning profits from income from real estate and beneficiaries of the trust. Real estate, I beg your pardon, REITs in Kenya are regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. This is in line with the Capital Markets Real Estate Investment Trust Collective Investment Schemes Regulations of 2013. It is important to note that in these regulations, REITs are tax exempt under Section 20 of the Income Tax Act, Cap 470. The Stanley Fahari REIT was successfully listed on November 2016 on the Nairobi Stock Exchange under the REITs market segment after a successful IPO where we raised 3.6 billion. The total cash raised from the IPO was invested in 3 seed properties, namely Greenspan, Bay Holdings, and Signature, which were acquired at a total consolidated cost of 2.4 billion. The balance of the funds, amounting to approximately 1 billion shillings, was then invested in near cash instruments in line with REIT regulations and our own internal investment policy statement, whose main aim is to maximize returns with minimum exposure to risk.
When you invest indirectly, you are investing in a manager that you trust your funds with. You trust that they've got the expertise that you probably don't have in order to manage your portfolio or to manage your money. So you will have to pay basically for someone to manage that portfolio. So in terms of global trends as to how fund management expenses work, we are quite aware that where we are currently is not where globally we're supposed to be, and that is a function of this. This is a function of scale. So our portfolio is currently sitting at 3.6 billion. When we first set out to go to market, our target was, of course, a minimum 2.6 billion to a maximum 12.5 billion. And with a hope of landing at 10 billion. So our efforts of getting there are not yet finalized. We are still targeting that. So currently what you're going to see is that line being bigger than expected. But according to our projections going forward, we need to see that being diluted to something that you won't even notice that it is there because of scale. But unfortunately, we find ourselves where we find ourselves, which is why Ken was emphasizing on the need to actually go back to market and raise more funds.
A debut REIT like this and a new product, bringing new products to market is not easy. And when STANLIB was listed, or when they applied for listing, there were a lot of challenges, especially around understanding what a REIT is. I mean, we had the regulations for a while, and everybody was trying to understand how to put together this structure. There were a lot of seminars being held, but nobody was coming to market. So I remember when the team came together and were bold enough, I think Corey can remember that, and said we are bringing this REIT, we were totally behind it, and we stood with it. We even did a public campaign together, and we really tried to sell it. And I want to say it was a success. For us, it was a successful capital raise. I think you deserve another applause for that. And so what have you done now? So you have actually proved that actually a REIT functions. I mean, you're distributing 80% of what you collected after expenses. I mean, we never conjured that this would happen. But 80% of the tangible, or what you get as your rental income, is now coming back to the investors. And this just shows that actually it's a product that functions. And that for me is a great milestone.